Perfect leadership is a lie, and it's keeping women stuck. In tech, the pressure's always on, to move fast, to get the next innovation, to stay ahead of the curve. But for women, there's a second layer of pressure. It's the demand to get it right the first time. So we over-prepare, we hesitate to take risks, we fear failure. And it's not just internal. There are systemic forces at play. There's biases, double standards, the unspoken rule to not be too difficult. 75% of female executives report feeling imposter syndrome at some point, and nearly half of women in tech report burnout because of this pressure to be perfect. But here's the twist. After working with dozens of engineers and leaders, I've noticed something even more subtle and more damaging. It's a pattern of perfectionism disguised as professionalism, and it's holding leaders back from the one thing that leadership actually demands: movement. I've been there too. Early in my career, I thought that in order to be taken seriously, I had to be perfect. I would overthink my decisions. I would try to get every single fact in order to present my idea before it was ready. But the funny thing was that the more I tried to be perfect, the more I wasn't seen as a leader because I just wasn't visible. And I was stopping myself from doing the one thing I needed to do, to move and keep trying. Here's the shift. What if we stopped thinking of leadership like a finished product and started thinking of it like software? Think about it. What do we do in tech? We create an MVP, we test it out, and we get feedback. And we use that feedback to iterate and make a V2. V1 is not problematic in any way. It's actually the foundation. And leadership works the same way. You're allowed to be in progress. You're supposed to be in progress. Every hard call, every awkward conversation, every time you say, "I don't know," that doesn't mean that you're unqualified as a leader. That's information. And that information is how you build the next version of your leadership. So how do you lead when everything's changing and you're still in progress yourself? That's where the version model comes in. Version is an acronym. There are 7 steps, but I've broken it up into 2 different sections to make it easier to remember. So VER is the iterative leadership. V stands for vision without rigidity. Because when you have the right direction, you know where you want to go eventually. But it doesn't necessarily matter how you get there. And that final version may not necessarily be the correct version, but it gives you the right idea of what direction you want to go. E is experimentation mindset. So think in hypotheses. Test, learn, and improve. Keep trying new things and treat leadership itself just like a product. R is reflection in real time. Build in pauses. Ask yourself, what went well? What didn't? And do this early and often. So that's the engine of iterative leadership, setting a clear but flexible direction, testing and learning fast, and reflecting often. But a leader's job isn't just to steer the ship. It's about setting the environment so that everybody is growing and still feels like they're contributing. That's where SION comes in. It's the container that holds the team and culture together. S is shared learning. Be transparent. Invite your team in. Build trust over pretending to have answers. I, inner clarity. Understand yourself. See what comes up for you and lead from the inside out. O, open communication. Normalize, here's what we know and what we're trying. And N, next step focus. Don't wait for the whole path, but move forward with the next clear step. Imagine a team at a company like Spotify. They don't wait for the perfect plan before moving. They take the next step and go. But maybe something goes wrong. They share openly what worked and what didn't. The leader encourages this and stays grounded, practicing empathy and self-awareness. And throughout, the team communicates honestly, sharing what they know and what they don't, normalizing uncertainty, and not pretending to have all the answers. And together, these habits create a culture where people feel like they can just try they can fail. And that's the secret to thriving when there's a lot of things changing around you. So you may be wondering, okay, Tiffany, I love this iteration idea, but how do I do this without losing authority? Authority means leading with honesty and intention, not knowing everything. When you model iteration yourself, you give everyone else the permission to do so as well. And the thing is, being grounded while still moving forward makes you a trusted, strategic, and very human leader. So are you holding on to control because it feels safe, even if it's slowing you down? The best leaders I know don't chase perfection. They build trust in motion. So be one of them. If you want some help in rewriting the story you have as a leader, watch this next video.